Daisy's gonna meet her boyfriend Gizmo. Hey Gizmo. Say hi to Gizmo.
Sit down, buddy.
Hey everyone, it's Dominic, the Primetime Treasure Hunter. Welcome back to another video. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. Gonna head out to some garage sales, maybe some estate sales, rummage sales. I don't really know what we're gonna hit up. I looked in advance to try to scout things out, but there really wasn't anything that was amazing, that drew me to it, that said I have to go there. So what I figured I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use Yard Sale Treasure Map. And if you haven't used that app before, I highly suggest downloading it. It'll show you all the estate sales, garage sales, rummage sales and stuff in your geographic area. So I'm just gonna pop that open and we're just gonna follow that around and just see what we can find. So let's head on out there, see if we can find some treasures. Okay, so this one coming up here, what a beautiful day, by the way, right? This one was not on Yard Sale Treasure Map. It just was one I found just looking on the side of the road and just saw a sign. So gonna head over here and see if there's any goodies, any treasures to pick up. So didn't wind up getting anything there, and that is largely because this house is so big and nice and brand new. New is an operative word. So there's not a lot of the nice vintage stuff that I would like to sell and flip online. There's just some modern stuff, like some CD changers that are worth like 35, 36 bucks on top of that table. There's some bins with some clothes there for $1 each, but they're all kind of nondescript, non-brand name clothes. Some tchotchkes and stuff and some toys, but in pretty used condition, played with condition, not worth anything. So we've got to work our way into an older development. Okay, here's the next one. Not quite as big, not quite as new. So maybe we'll have a little bit more luck inside that garage. All right, well, I normally don't pick up something just for me and not to resell. This doesn't have any significant resale value, but it has value to me just because I love comic books, specialize in comic books. I love supervillains, and when I saw that this said the 50 strangest supervillains in the history of comic books, how could I pass that up? So for just $1. So this one is one I'm gonna hang on to for a while. I can't wait to look into this. Now, there were some things there that had some potential. There was a Buffalo Bills jacket I would have picked up for $2, but when I tested the zipper out, it kept splitting. So that's a little tip for people who are new. Make sure you're testing out zippers, make sure you're testing out electronics, making sure things power up. That will help to prevent getting home and then realize that you just purchased something defective and you just lost some money. So that's a way to kind of ensure against that. Make sure you're testing things on scene to the extent that you can. So let's head out now and try to get to a sale where we can actually find something to resell. See, now this is more what I'm looking for. It's not as new of a house. This is the type of house that you'll have better chance of finding stuff in. Okay, so I wound up finding something pretty good. I'm going to show it to you in just a second. It's just funny, though. I wanted to tell you that of all the garage sales I've gone to so far on Yard Sale Treasure Map, this is the one that had no verbal description beyond just saying garage sale. Like, it didn't say what was there. There were no pictures, nothing fancy to draw you in, just garage sale. So go check those out sometimes because I'm going to show you what I just found. Okay, so when I went up to that table that you could probably see in the beginning of that little clip there before when I pulled up to the house, I saw this and it said $25 games and system. And I saw the PlayStation 2 and I saw that it had the controllers and I saw that it looks like it has memory cards and stuff in it. And that was pretty interesting to see that, and I was thinking of making the purchase, just for that would have been good for the $25. But then I noticed that it said games, and I asked, wait a minute, what is exactly the $25 for? Is it just for this or something else? And they're like, no. These games here, these are all included. So you've got 21 games also. Now, a lot of them are sports games, and the sports games are the worst kind to get in terms of resale value, but there's other ones besides sports, and it's a big bundle. They're all there. They have all the instructions in terms of the discs is in there, is what I mean. So for all of that, for $25, I would say based on comps, your max value on this would be around $200. It'll probably go for less than that, but for $25, it's a no-brainer. And they also threw in these cool Darth Vader shirts for me as well. So we've got Darth Vader using an inhaler and riding a motorcycle. So how could you beat that? You know, they did let me test this out, not in terms of hooking it up to a TV screen, but I was able to go in the house and plug it in, and they showed me that it did turn on and off, so that's a good sign. You know, when you're making an electronics purchase like this, if you can't prove that it works, you're looking for other things that could get your investment back. And $25 isn't a lot. So, you know, even so, we've got the controllers, we've got memory cards, but even let's say all of this, worst case scenario, all this broke, I still have the 2 shirts, and I still have the 21 games, you know, and those could go for, you know, even by itself can maybe go for like, you know, $50, you know, on a good day. So, you know, either way, I'm not going to lose out on this deal. And that's what you've got to try to do when you're making these bulk purchases. You've got to make sure you're getting enough stuff that you could insure against if something goes wrong, especially if you're dealing with electronics. So, little tip for you, because you will see these video game bundles at garage sales, and this is a way to try to package it together to insure against any problems. So you got this in college, huh?
Yes.
Are you gonna tell me my future?
No, I don't remember anymore. Like, there was like, you know, the lines on your hands and like the,
Yeah.
you know, this thing, you know, it was how many loves you were supposed to have in your life, and
Right.
if you have a really deep one, you'd have one deep love. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just all this stuff. So
It's cool. I like it. It's from 1952.
well, I did not go to college.
I know you didn't. This is a book that she had used when she took a parapsychology class when she was in college. And so I knew that the book had some age to it, and I decided to look into it some more. What really intrigued me about it is that it is astrology. And so anytime you could find something that has kind of like a niche specialized following like astrology, and especially if the book is older and has cool little pictures and diagrams and tables like that, and there's not many of them around, and you could source it for 25 cents, I mean, you got to pick something like that up. There's no comps on it. One hasn't sold recently, which is a good sign, actually. There's not many around. One person is currently selling it right now for a little bit over $30, has 2 watchers. So for 25 cents, it was a very easy decision to pick this one up. So, you know, it was only one purchase. It's not a killer score or anything like that, but these things add up over the course of a day, over the course of a month. So heading out to the next one. Do you remember where you got the ball?
Pardon me?
Do you remember where you got the ball?
Yeah, it was at a fundraiser.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it goes back to like 2005, 2006-ish. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think my daughter was like 13 years old.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because there's... Yeah, I could
Was Eric
identify some of the
Devendorf on
players.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Devendorf.
That's the only one I could think of.
That's him right there. That's
Okay,
Devendorf.
okay.
Yeah. So there's Josh Wright. There's
there you go.
Demetrius Nichols.
There you go.
So yeah. Okay. Would you do 10 on it?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Cool.
I didn't really
Thanks. And this is a hard to find Funko Pop of Phoebe from Friends. Wow, this is turning out to be a pretty darn good day so far. I mean, what's the chances that I'm going to stroll into that house and find this Syracuse University signed basketball by Hall of Fame coach Jim Boeheim? Let me find his signature for you right here. That's a signature. I know that's an authentic signature. Of course, I don't have the certificate of authenticity and give one because it came from a fundraiser, but I have had Jim Boeheim sign things for me. He signed a book in person, looks exactly like this. Remember, I'm in Syracuse, New York. Lady was a hardcore Syracuse fan, so of course I don't have 100% proof, but I'm telling you, this thing is legitimate. I know as a Syracuse basketball fan, these signatures, these players, all that sort of stuff. Plus, when I list it, it's going to say that it's coming from Syracuse. I'll make sure I mention that in the description, that it came from a fundraiser. That will help sell it without the COA. I normally don't buy things that are signed sports memorabilia pieces without a certificate of authenticity, but this would be an exception, and that's why. So I want to make sure you knew that. Everything there was half off today because she had a sale yesterday. So she had 25 bucks on this. I asked if she'd take 10. She said she'd take 10. So perfect. Market value for something like this could be anywhere between $100 and $200. This goes back to the 2005-ish basketball season. So you could check the rosters online. All you have to do is type in some of the numbers here, like, you know, number 30, or it's hard to see with the light there, but you know, you just type in like number 2 or number 32, and you just start trying to match up names and stuff if you're not familiar with the players, or you know, or the team. So that's how you figure that out. And then this, I couldn't believe this was sitting there. Normally you don't find something like this, a single pop worth a lot of money that someone's selling for actually $1. It says $2, but everything's 50% off. So I got this for $1. This is hard to find pop. They don't make it anymore. It's considered vaulted, which is a technical term in pop language, meaning it's retired. So this right now, cheapest you can find this in the box is $50. Now, granted, there is a little bit of damage to it right there. There's a little bit of indentation to it. I'll just disclose that, but doesn't matter. For a rare Funko Pop like that, that's considered relatively minor damage, someone will still purchase this. And you know, I'm hoping we'll spend around $40 for something like this, maybe 45, who knows. So you know, so we'll see, but this is definitely a no-brainer pickup for $1. Let's move on and see if we can get some more treasures. Okay, next target, and it looks like there's a lot of stuff in that garage, so let's see if any of it is any good though. These M&M socks are cool. I like them.
Aren't they?
Yeah. 6 of them in there. They're nice and colorful and bright.
Yep.
$2.
Yep.
Okay. That's cool. So this is one of those great little finds for $2 that you could wind up flipping for $20 to $30. It doesn't cost you a lot because it's first class, it's light, it's easy to ship. Similar to the astrology book, you know, it's a medium mail item. It's going to cost like $2.75 to ship this out. You know, so those are good things to find. You know, you're finding things that, you know you're going to have a nice return on investment when you consider the shipping. You're trying to figure out, you know, is this something that has like a niche market for it? And this would be something that would fall into that category, even though there's not an exact specific comp. Like you can't find this exact thing right now on eBay, but it doesn't matter because you know that the M&M brand is one that is very popular. It's one that you know, has been marketed very well. It's been merchandised very well. People collect that stuff. They buy it all the time. So if you could find something like this that people could wear and they could express themselves, especially if it's socks or if it's a hat or a t-shirt, and it's something unique, you can't find another one out there like that. That's what people want. People want to express themselves. They want to be different. They want to have an item of clothing that not anybody else has, you know, so they can express their individuality. And especially if it's colorful, you know, linked to something popular like M&M's, it's just the perfect type of item. So I'm just trying to give you a little insight into how I think when I go and I look at all the things on the table in terms of what kind of things I'm zeroing in on and why. So let's go over to the next sale and see if we could continue our streak of finding good treasures. All right, time to hit up some neighborhood sales. What a gorgeous day. All right, so I just stopped off at a house and picked up one of these Diary of the Wimpy Kid books for 50 cents. I've talked about these before on my channel, but for those of you who are new, get them for 50 cents to $1, bundle them together into lots, and they resell very well. The main thing you have to watch out with for these books is you have to look inside to make sure that there's not a name written inside of it. Most people do not want someone else's name written inside of the book, especially if it is going to their kid. Now, the interesting thing about this purchase is that, and I will acknowledge this, that there was a lemonade stand in front of this house. So if you go to my video on the top 10 ways to tell if it's going to be a terrible garage sale. Lemonade stands is one of the things I put in there. But I still hold that I have not yet found a major score at a house with a lemonade stand in front of it. So if anyone makes a big time lemonade score this year, make sure you let me know that in the comments of this video or in the video on the garage sales. So, all right, on to the next one. So should I turn on Rocky Road? How could I not go on Rocky Road? Okay, so I don't normally purchase records. I buy them every once in a while. I am not a records expert. However, I look through record boxes every time I see them out. And one of the reasons that I do that is to continuously gain familiarity with what ones are common and which ones are not. And one of the things that interested me about this one, which is why I gave it a thumbs up, is it's regional. WNBC Radio 66. So this is for a specific area of the country here in the Northeast. Now, you'll notice on the bottom it says it is album number 2. Now, album number 1 is one that I have seen listed on eBay for as much as $45, but I cannot find number 2 anywhere. And there's interest in number 1. So I believe that there are a bunch of people who probably have number 1 but don't have number 2. And so I'm picking it up to hopefully get it to somebody who can complete their collection. And hopefully, again, this might be one of these ones that I picked it up for $3, but hopefully can flip it for maybe $30, $40, something like that. I'm not sure. We'll see. Take a little bit of a shot at it. But again, just trying to give you some insight into my reasoning as to why I picked this one up. For those of you who are record experts, let me know how you think I did on this one below in the comment section. All right, on to the next one. I wanted to give you a little tip about going around neighborhood garage sales because it's very easy to get lost and distracted. Now you see this road here, it goes straight down and it winds up going all the way around in a circle and coming out this way. Now along the way, there's going to be all little inlets and side streets to go to. What I would suggest is not getting pulled off by those, but just going around, do the entire loop, then come by and systematically get the inlets. That's how to stay organized about it. So I already did all these. I already did this one over here. That's where I got the Wimpy Kid book with the lemonade stand. And then what we have here is a side area. Now I had passed this before and just went straight down to go to other sales. But now, hit that, come back around, then go back on this road and just systematically knock them all off. I love Woody Woodpecker shirts, so pick them up all day. This is $1, easy flip for 20 to 25 bucks. This is what it looks like inside the other boxes.
Yeah, I opened one so that,
Just to see.
yeah.
Okay. Would you do 3 for $5 since one's open? Thanks. Yeah, they were made in 1985.
There we go.
Okay, so when I saw these all sitting on the table, I just had to take a closer look because it just screamed 1980s to me. You could see her hairstyle and just the font on the box, even just the design of it just really looked 80s. So I searched for a date and on the back, it says 1985 right on the bottom, and it's a Halloween type of item. Now you could use it in other activities as well besides going around and trick-or-treating, but with Halloween season coming up, it made even more sense. This is very, very light. This would go out first class. You can't find any of them out there. I mean, there's no comps for it whatsoever. I could be descriptive with my keywords and sell it. 3 for $5. Again, this is one of these no-brainer type of items. This one here, I will still be able to sell because even though the box is open, it is unopened inside. So we could still give pretty much a guarantee that this is going to work. So, you know, any of these 80s items like this, if you could find them with boxes, especially if you could find a bunch of them or even a couple of them unopened, that's good. So nice little small bundle here, sell them off one at a time. Again, hopefully one of these items that I could maybe get like 30 bucks out of, or maybe even a little more. I don't know. We'll see. I'll check TerraPeak when I go home and see if I could find any longer sales data on it. That goes back a year, whereas eBay is only going to take you back 60 days. So let's go on and see if we can find anything else. Now, my treasure hunting may get cut short here because we are supposed to have a downpour at around 2:30. A lot of people are packing up their garage sales, so I'm not sure how much longer we have to go here. Wow, so you just never know what you're going to find inside a box of VHS tapes. That's why I always suggest going through them. Most of the time you won't find anything good, but sometimes you will. There are certain movies on VHS that will sell very well. Song of the South for Disney is a great example. Old wrestling ones that weren't put out on DVD. Old horror movies that weren't put out on DVD. Skateboarding ones. Chris the Thrift Shop Hustler, let me know about those. So thanks for that. But these actually aren't movies. Believe it or not, these are actually video games for a console called Action Max. Now, it had very limited release. There were only 5 games ever made, and I found 3 of them. Now, the one that is worth the most money is this one here called The Rescue of Pops Ghostly. This one just sold recently for around 45 bucks. The problem with this system and why it didn't last long is they were all point and shoot games. So you're very limited in terms of the functionality of it, and it didn't go beyond 1987. They were going to release a 6th game, but they never did. So 1987 right there on the bottom. So we're finding these vintage 80s items. I don't know anyone that sold a lot of 3 of these together. So I'm just going to put them up as a lot. And I don't know what I'll get for it. I'm hoping that I'll get over 50 bucks for them. I paid 5 for the 3. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But you never, ever know. Always look through VHS boxes. All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to call it a day. I just wrapped up with that whole neighborhood, and I'm pretty happy with everything that I wound up picking up. It's starting to rain a little bit, and Mrs. Primetime wants me to come home and you know, try to get onto that barbecue before it totally pours. So that's what I'm going to do. Going to head back and take care of business over there. Hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed doing this for you. It just goes to show, even if you don't have things planned out meticulously the day in advance, you could still just go on Yard Sale Treasure Map and just start exploring around where you are, and you could still get lots of great scores like I did. 0 here was planned in advance, nothing. So if you like the video, make sure you drop a comment down below. Tell me what your favorite item was that I found. If you have any questions, let me know. Hit the like button. Come by to the Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. The link's down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Trying to get to 6,000 members. We're almost there. And make sure you follow me on Instagram. That's at prime_time_treasure. See you back at the next video, everyone. Take care. Hello, I'm home. How are you? Hey, little girl.